White guilt.
Let's talk about it. And is it like, I don't know, I think about like, so there's an article, not an article, like a interview on NPR or whatever, but talking about football players, black football players,
Yeah.
and how when they're talking to the press, they have specific type of speech. But when they're hanging out with the rest of the teammates,
Yep.
I don't know sports, teammates, good right?
No, you're nailing it.
Yeah. But they speak in the language that they grew up with, right? So it's like, then they called it black speech or whatever, and then this is not necessarily white speech, but this is like the speech we use when we talk to the press, and this is how we really talk to our friends.
That's ridiculous, because white people do it too, right?
Yeah,
white people in the locker room, they say their things, they're, I don't know, now I'm going to make up total white speak, right? But white guys don't get in front of the camera and they're like, man, so I had a good play, dude. Like, we just, everything was rocking and rolling and we were, right? But they get in the locker room and that's exactly how they talk. White people, right? So I turn this out, right? So to say that black people get in front of the camera and change the way they speak, so does their white teammate. They don't talk like that either.
Right. See, they did not say that. And so I was like, oh, I mean, for me, I think that was the beginning of like, oh, there's just different cultural differences of the way people, like that's what like made me like, do not change the way people speak.
Right.
It is that, but duh, they didn't even bring up the fact that of course white people speak differently.
Right. Absolutely. Right. Especially when we're talking about sports folks, right?
Yeah.
There is some truth to the idea that black people speak differently. I do it, in fact, in theater. The big thing that my note all the time was talk louder. Because as a 6'2" black guy, being loud and talking to people directly is really frightening to a lot of white people in particular, especially because they're smaller than me. And so I've learned to check some of that aggression. It is my way, and it is more comfortable for everyone, including me. I could, now, to be honest, I don't know if it's my real personality or learned personality. There's probably somewhere in the middle. But maybe if I didn't have to worry about that, maybe if I grew up in an all-black community, maybe I would be louder, or more, I don't know.
Right.
But there is a lot to the idea of, like, I notice it when I go into a store. Hands in pocket, very often. Like, oh, I just walk around, hands in a pocket, it's all cool. As long as I'm not flailing around, I don't have to have anybody worried about if I'm doing anything. Unfortunately, it's a thing, I think. And so I think when it comes to speech, there are a lot of people who, yes, we want to appear smarter. We all do. We want to fit in more. We all do, right? But there is also this thing that black people do to be safer for you. And so that's, that might be some of also what you're seeing. But it's not all of what you're seeing.
Yeah.
Again, white people code switch as well. Code switching is not just an African American thing.
Right. And okay, I'm noticing that you're saying African American and black. So that is like a thing. And from I've really worked hard to like just get back to black because there's a lot of people that don't relate to African American because they're not from Africa or they're whatever.
Yeah.